You know, credit unions are very unique as cooperatives. We're owned by our members. We don't have shareholders. We don't have institutional investors. They're owned by our members, and our sole job is to try to help them improve their financial lives, help them acquire homes and cars, and save money for retirement, and kids' college costs, and so it's a pretty special type of an organization. And I've had so many opportunities to do so many unique things over 41 years. I've been part of starting 2 mutual funds. I created a program that raised $100 million in donations for our national foundation over 10 years. Started video tellering, which is being adopted around the world. And then started Constellation, our digital banking company. And so it's all of those are a lasting impact, but I think the biggest one is I've got former employees working all over the credit union movement. And so, I think the biggest thing I've left behind is people that, believe in credit unions like I do, believe in the power, believe what we can do, that are passionate about, continuing the work of credit unions. And, I think all of that's doubly true at Coastal. I mean, we have a very clear mission and vision at Coastal that I think every employee in the company is bought into.
Hey, Chuck.
Hey, Alan, how are you?
Man, this is incredible.
This is incredible. Welcome to Hyco Lake. It's about 3,500 acres, probably 10 miles end to end. I think by now there's about 1,800 homes on it. So it's not huge, it's not like Lake Gaston, but it's big enough, and it's pretty quiet, as you can tell. But as you can see, the house is all one level. Deck all the way across the back, big screen porch. And it's just perfect for us. We have one wing and the kids have the other wing. But this is really a great place.
Now, how long do you think you'll have this place?
Until we're gone.
So this is it?
This is it. This is it. Well, on a day like today, the lake's it's just very relaxing on a day like today. If the weather's good, Gail and I'll go out, after dinner at night, just kind of cruise around. If some of our neighbors are out on their docks, we'll stop and chat for a few minutes. And part of it is to see what new houses have been started, what's going up around here. But it's just peaceful.
All right, looks like we're at our interview spot. You ready to get started?
I am. Let's do it.
All right, pop on down, Chuck. We need some marshmallows.
Yes, we do.
Hello and welcome to Drive, the show where we join Chuck in conversations about moving forward. And Chuck, this is the final episode.
And this is the best place to have it.
I'll tell you,
Does it get any better than this?
I could sit here all night until I'll keep adding wood.
There you go.
As the fire burns down,
there
and we'll just keep going all night long.
That's right.
Wow. Well, Chuck, when we first got together with your leadership team, probably 6 months ago, talking about what this series was going to accomplish, obviously a legacy piece for you to share with others, we came up with the name Drive. We've never asked you, what does drive mean to Chuck? So give us your definition.
Yeah, so I was born with what I call drive. I was never I never wanted to be the best at something, because I think to be best at something, you got to pick like one thing. I just wanted to be good. And I had this drive, whatever I took on, do it good. Make a difference. And so, as I think about the word drive, it's a personal drive I had to be good at the things I did with my life. And so that's really why I thought the name was so appropriate for this series.
Well, throughout this series, we've talked so much about your drive in terms of at Coastal or in the credit union movement. Tell us a little bit about how drive has impacted you personally.
Well, as a husband and a father, I've always taken seriously the responsibility to provide for my family. And that means a lot of things in a lot of ways, and certainly to different people. But part of the drive was to give my family comfort and safety and the kids' education. But there was always a drive to have a place like this.
It is beautiful, and I can imagine just the seasons that you have spent here. I know in the episode on COVID.
I've seen 2 feet of snow right here where we're sitting.
Really? 2 feet?
I have.
Wow. Well, I also know that during the episode we did on COVID, you shared that this is where you hunkered down.
Yeah.
And as we walked around, you talked about the 12, 14-hour days. And I know that comes from within you. What would you tell someone that was struggling with their own personal drive? How can they find that drive to go on, and they can develop it if they've never developed it?
It's got to start with purpose. Each of us has to, I think, find purpose in meaning in our lives. For me, it's never been about money. I found in credit unions created this passion in me to help people, taking care of my family and creating opportunities and so forth for my family was part of that purpose. And so I think a lot of people struggle because they're hung up on somebody else's purpose. You know, maybe their parents said your purpose in life is this. Well, maybe it's not your purpose. And so I think each of us has to look deep inside and really what inspires us, what motivates us, what's fun. If work isn't fun, find a different job. Because for me, all my time in credit unions never felt like work. And I think it was because it fit my purpose and fit who I am, what I enjoyed. And I think that's the key to being happy, and I think is a key to successful careers. If you're not having fun doing the work you're doing, find something else to do.
As you look back over a 41-year career, when was it most challenging to sustain your drive?
So that would have been while I was with U.S. Central back in the 90s. CEO that hired me left 2 years later. I was acting CEO for 10 or 11 months. Didn't get the job. And then there were 2 more CEOs. I mean, so it's like 2 years, 2 years, 2 years, 2 years, and in each case, different priorities, and it got hard because I kind of lost my place, if you will, and I couldn't, it no longer fit what I thought my purpose was. And it was that situation in many respects that led me to come back to North Carolina and come to Coastal. So I think that, and I was traveling all the time. You know, I had responsibilities with our clients all over the country. And so I was traveling all the time. This company's going through CEO changes every 2 years, and it wasn't comfortable. And so we made the decision it's time to do something different, and worked out pretty good.
Worked out great. We've talked a lot over this series about motivating teams and building great teams. I've come to realize you're not really motivated yourself by a lot of external factors. You're motivated by an internal drive for excellence.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
How would you define the difference between an internal drive and an external drive for most people?
The internal drive to me it's kind of innate. There's some reward to yourself in achieving something. That to me is an internal drive. You feel good about it. I like doing projects around this property, whether it's lawn work, whatever. And there's this innate satisfaction in taking on something, getting it done, and doing it well. The external drive really comes from external, stimuli and external factors. And for me, it was knowing there were other people that either depended on me or that I could have impact positive. And that creates a pretty powerful drive when that is rewarding to you internally.
What role has your family played in your success?
Oh, it's huge. I married this most awesome person in the world, Gail. She was the CEO of her home. I've traveled thousands and thousands of days and nights over the last 41 years. And her support allowed me to do that. We're a nationwide movement. We're not this little movement in Raleigh, North Carolina. And my drive to impact lives led me to national roles, national boards, which means I'm golden. And her support I couldn't have done it without that support. And, Aaron and Jordan, I missed a lot of baseball practices and football practices, tried not to miss many games along the way, but they understood. And when I was there, I didn't miss anything. And so it takes a family. I will argue there is no successful executive or person that doesn't have support from somewhere from other people, whether it's family or friends. I don't think you can't do it by yourself.
Yeah, I agree. I have to ask though, after 41 years, as you look back on all of it, was it worth it?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I've had the opportunity to do things in 41 years I never imagined 41 years ago. I testified before the Senate Banking Committee. I've created companies that are doing really important stuff in banking and financial services and credit unions. And my drive to positively impact people through the work of credit unions, I've seen the outcomes, and whatever personal price, whatever things I missed to achieve that, it was worth it.
Chuck, I'm wondering, do you feel like you made a difference?
I do. I was in doctor's office recently. I was having an eye exam, and the technician, very nice lady, was there, and we're chatting, and somehow I told her I was retiring, and she said, "Oh, where do you work?" I work at Coastal. And she said, "Y'all are amazing." And I said, "Why do you say that?" She said she had come to Raleigh, 20 years ago. Didn't know anybody, didn't have any banking relationships, needed a car. And Coastal was the only lender. that would approve her for loan. And she said that allowed her to have a job, to travel, to have friends, and made all the difference in her life. And I hear that rather frequently, quite frankly, not that situation, but from members who something we've done had a positive impact on their life.
You know, in retrospect, what would you have done differently?
A number of people have asked me that question, and as I think back across my career journey, some of the things I did were because I chose it. I chose a certain turn in the road, and some because the road turned on. You know, all of a sudden there's a curve in the road, and you either run off the road or you follow the curve. But as I look back, I don't think I would change a thing.
Yeah, I'm sure of that. I'm gonna throw another log on the fire.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's kind of going down a little bit.
It is.
Oh, I need a poker. It needs to be stoked a little bit.
You can think about this question. By the time this episode airs, Chuck, you will be in your last week as Coastal CEO. Do you think you'll stay involved with the credit union movement?
Oh, there's no question. You know, I got friends all over the country, all over the world. My passion for the work of credit unions won't mysteriously vanish on April 1st. You know, people in the world still need help. Consumers still need help. And quite frankly, I'm not out of ideas. The more time I spend here thinking and having, time just to think, the more ideas I get. And so, throughout my time as CEO, this is where I come to think. Not about the stresses and the day-to-day of being a CEO, but think about the bigger stuff. No, yeah. Well, the answer is yes. A lot of people I'll keep in touch with, a lot of people who value my experience, my ideas, my insights. And so I'm going to continue to do some things that I can have fun doing without the pressure of having a company.
Chuck, I remember when we were shooting outside of a building, the episode on the financial crisis, and a security guard walked up to you and said, "Are you the president of Coastal?" And he asked you to do a personal favor for him just to check in on things.
Yeah.
Did you follow up on that?
Absolutely. I've got a team. I have a small team that follows up on any complaint we get from a member, and that follows up on any inquiries, any complaints I get, and I hand it off to them, and either they'll get the information and I'll get in touch with the member, or 9 times out of 10, they take care of it.
Chuck, thanks for your courage, and on behalf of the board, the leadership team at Coastal, the great group of writers that we've had throughout this
Oh my gosh.
this entire series, and the production crew.
It's been amazing. All of you have done just an amazing job. When we were talking about this, I don't know, 8-9 months ago, I never imagined this would be the outcome. It's been incredible, and you're an amazing host.
Well, thank you for inviting us on the journey, and may the Lord bless you and watch over you and your family.
Thank you.
And Chuck, the final words are yours.
Wow. I'll close with a couple thoughts. I was just a simple kid growing up, not from a wealthy family, but cared about people, and I hope my career Those accomplishments are an inspiration to others like me, very young, who wonder about their place in life. You can make a huge difference. Drive matters, commitment matters, but in every kid today is the ability to be great and to have a tremendous impact on people around them. I'm incredibly excited about the next chapter and being able to spend much more time with Gail and Jordan and Aaron and our grandsons, spending more time at my happy place here at the lake. But you know, I have had such a fortunate career and leave with, as I told a group last week, I'm not saying goodbye. You know, I'm saying we'll see you around. And we need leaders. And I hope that by making this series available in the public domain, if you've watched it or are watching it, thank you. I hope you find something valuable in it. But I wanted to be able to leave 41 years of experience and insights and so forth behind for, in particular, future leaders of the credit union movement. If you're not a member of a credit union, go join one. They are so much better than any bank in America. If you're interested in working in banking, go call a credit union. Credit union is a great place to work, family atmosphere, and make a difference in the world. Alan, this has been a great series. You've been an amazing host. I have thoroughly enjoyed doing this with you, so thank you so much. From the team at Drive, thank you so much for watching. So what was the line from all of us at Drive? Thanks for watching. From all of lip stuck together. And from the team at Drive that put this series together, thank you so much for walking. So from the team at Drive, thank you for watching. God,
you were laughing at me when I was trying to open the show. You're like, that guy can't remember two sentences.
No, it's like,
You're down to one.